All right, guys, if you own a condo and you're planning on selling in 2024 or 2025, this video is a must watch. I compare this market with other moments in time that you're familiar with. I break down the numbers and I give you the best selling strategies in order to maximize your chances of selling in today's market. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so let's get into this. What you're looking at here is a micro market analysis. And what we do is we compare different markets in Ontario. As you see here, this is the condo apartment market in the downtown core, detached Mississauga, detached Whitby, semis in Leslieville, and semis in Brampton. These are common transactions that my team and I we handle. So that's why we compare these different markets, but we also compare them with moments in time. So if you see here, June 2024 compared, which is last month, which is the latest data in the real estate market right now. We compare it to October 2020, which is the heart of COVID. I'm not sure if you remember what was going on there, but people were freaking out. People were unsure and uncertain. And also, we're comparing it to Feb 2020, which is right before COVID, that month before COVID, where things were going crazy and we were like almost peak market, basically. But let's get into this. Let's talk about June 2024. So, and we're specifically going to talk about the condo market downtown core. But really, the advice that I'm giving and the strategies that I'm about to go and talk about, they apply to every market, but especially the downtown core. If you're selling in the downtown core right now and it's a condo apartment, whether it's tenanted, owner occupied, or vacant, this video is very, very important, and you need to know what's going on. Let's get into this. So the sales for June 2024 were 232 sales in the downtown core. Listings were 1,695 listings, which is an elevated amount of listings and a low amount of sales. Let's compare this to October 2020, where uncertainty was in the air and quite frankly, people were moving out of the city at this point in time. The sentiment was down for downtown condos. So sales 340 already. There was more sales in the heart of COVID than last month. Listings 1844. Like I said, people were freaking out. They were uncertain, and there were a lot of investors trying to flee the market. So the listing count was quite elevated there, but we're not much of a difference, honestly, from June 2024. If anything, we're actually slightly worse in June 2024. The months of supply is quite high. Like we're 7.3 months of supply, while October 2020, there was 5.42. So we're slightly worse now, but similar markets. Now, the interesting juicy facts. Let's compare to Feb 2020. This is a relatively normal time. We're going to compare it to June 2024. So sales, 232 sales versus 330 sales. Listings, 1695 listings compared to 366 listings. So this really paints a picture of what it's like in today's market right now, because in Feb 2020, for every listing that was being listed, 366 listings in February in 2020, there were 330 sales. So pretty much for everything that was being listed, February 2020 was selling. You could list a dumpster and throw it on King and Spadina and list it for $1 million and it will go in Feb 2020. But now tells a very different story. So I want to talk to the condo sellers and even just the people that's trying to sell in today's market or about to sell in today's market. So what we're noticing is, like, if you see here, 232 sales, 1,695 listings. This means that 13% of things that are being listed are actually selling, right? So the question is, what does the 13% of listings, what does the listing look like? Like, what trends can we catch with this 232 sales? Because going through these listings, these sold listings, they have a certain vibe to them and they have a certain look to them that buyers are wanting. So if you are selling in today's market and you want to be a part of this 13%, then there are some rules that apply and that you need to apply to your listing. Now, what I'm noticing is if you want to be a part of this 13%, you need to be staged, or this will increase your chances of selling. But out of these 232 listings, majority of them are staged. The majority of them are vacant or owner occupied. That means if you have a tenanted condo, you're going to have difficulties selling. There's buyers and buyers agents tend to avoid tenanted condos, especially in bad markets, because there's a bunch of complexities to tenanted condos. So if you want to be a part of this 13%, your condo pretty much has to be empty, or the owner has to live in it. Like you as the owner have to live in it, not a tenant. And the third point, if you want to be a part of this 13%, your pricing strategy has to be flushed out clearly. Now, what does that mean? So, what I'm noticing in the marketplace is there's two different pricing strategies that sellers and selling agents are utilizing in order to sell condos. One of the pricing strategies to go to bat with is you got to be the cheapest and best looking option in the whole entire building and in the areas. So you got to be like 10K, 15K cheaper than the cheapest option, and you have to look better than the cheapest option on paper. Like your pictures have to be on point and your staging has to be on point, at minimum virtual staging. So that's one strategy. The second pricing strategy that people are implementing is you have to list like 20 to 30% below market value, attract as many people as possible, drive as many showings as possible until your property sells. That's another strategy that you can implement. But all of this doesn't work if your property's tenanted and if your property's not staged. So sellers have to be checking off all the boxes. If all the boxes aren't checked, then your listing will likely sit on the market. Anyway, hope this helps. If you have any questions or you're selling this year and you need help, feel free to reach out. Cheers.